Good morning and welcome to this Wednesday morning live on this series of the beliefs of the types of beliefs that we need to shift to create what we want, to get the results in our life that we want. And this week I'm doing the series on the 5 different beliefs. And today we're looking at the third one. And today's belief is, what is it going to take? We looked at on Monday the belief about your beliefs. And then on Tuesday we looked at a possibility. So if we know that it's possible, then what happens is we start looking at where we start stopping ourselves is, well, what's it going to take? What's going to take to make it happen? I believe it, like you think to yourself, I believe I can make it happen, or I believe I can do this. But, and we know what happens when we put a but in there. There's 2 things that happen. One, when we put a but in a sentence, it negates everything that we say beforehand. But we know if we keep sitting on our butt, we get a real big but. So 2 things happen. So as soon as we chuck a but in there, I believe I can do it, but it's going to take too much time, too much stress, too much money, too much sacrifice of my health, too much sacrifice away from my family and the things that matter. So these are all the reasons and the beliefs that will stop you from taking the action that is required for you to do what you know is possible. And these beliefs can really hold you back. Now, this can be really powerful if you actually take time to sit down and write down what are the beliefs that you actually think about, what it's going to take to achieve that goal, to go out on that date, to meet that person, to get perfect health. What's your belief about what it's going to take for you? And are you going to step up? Do you have the courage to be able to step into it? What belief do you have about what it'll take to hit your goals? Be in that relationship that you want. Create the relationship the way you want it. Achieve total health. What stories have you already created about what it'll take? What stories have you created about failure? I want to do it, but, like I said about but, we sit on our butt, or we keep putting that but in there. I want to do it, but I don't want to fail. One of the things that we look at, hey Linda, when it comes to our creating what we want to get and going after what we want to get, we've got to look at what it's going to take. And, these stories that I had there stopped me for the longest time. And, I was very lucky at one stage where I got a little bit of help from spirit or from the divine, where I got nudged because I stopped. I saw someone that I wanted to date. I met someone that I really liked, but I was scared and I didn't want to take action. And, it stopped me. It stopped me from moving forward. But luckily enough for me, I had the experience of, I was doing another course at the time. I was going to a seminar. And some people may know this thing. This happened a few years ago, back around 2007 or so. And this morning, I got up. And I lived in Brisbane and I had to drive to the Gold Coast. For those that don't know where that is, it's about a good 45-minute drive. And so I decided it was a beautiful summer's day, so I thought I'd ride my Harley down. And, I was one of those type of guys that would ride the Harley and you see them out there and you go, you bloody idiots. T-shirt, shorts, thongs. That's how I used to ride my Harley at times. But I got told this morning to put my leathers on and my heavy boots. And, as a hot day, I go, what the hell are you doing that for? But, when spirit talks to me, I listen. Because my intuition was telling me. And so I put my heavy shoes on, my jeans, my leather jacket, my leather gloves, and off I went down the freeway. And as I'm scooting down the freeway on the Harley, giving it shit, you know those, Harleys, how they've got straight pipes and they're just playing loud. That was me. And I'm fatting down the road, giving it to it, and we're going along. And I must have been doing about, the speed limit plus a little more. And some car just pulled out in front of me. And at the time, I just locked the bike up, so to avoid it, because it didn't see me. There was nowhere for me to go. There was cars on all lines, and so I just locked it up. And it scared the living crap out of me. And so I slowed down and continued on to where I was going. And I was about 500 meters from where I'm heading to. And when I was just about there, I come along, and I was only doing about 40 k's. I was going slow because we're going past a lot of traffic. And this bus just pulled out from the side of the road and just cut everyone off. And I was right up its clanging. It obviously didn't see me, and hit the brakes and ended up having to drop the bike and bent my leg and bent my knee, and got stuck under the bike. Someone had to help me off it. But anyway, I went about the day, and I ended up ringing this person afterwards and say, "Hey, I need you to do a healing on my leg. I've hurt my knee. Come off my bike." Anyway, I went to work. I went to the course, did the course all that day, and there was something I was trying to get, but I was banging myself in the head, and I just wasn't getting it. But I whacked my head on the road when I come off, and so they went by, and then that night I went over to Terry Ann's house and asked her to do the healing on me, and she did the healing on my knee. And for the longest period of time, I'd been wanting to go out with Terry Ann, but here I am, a single dad with two daughters, and we were just friends, and she was helping my daughters, because they're at the age of needing bras and things like that, and I sort of didn't know what to do. And so I hadn't worked up enough courage to ask her out. And so Spirit gave me a nudge by whacking my head on the road from the Harley, and then I was there, and I'd been out a few times, we've been mucking around, and then so I just sat there and I said to her, "Hey, what you do, this is up to you, totally up to you, but I'm in love with you." And and she sort of looked at me quite surprised and said, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?" And I said, "Well, whatever you like." But luckily enough, 13 years being married now, and one of the things is I sold that Harley and bought her an engagement ring. So that's what happened to my Harley. But it took, I had all sorts of stories about how I was going to get there. But it was about what would it take to get me across the line. I needed a bit of help. Spirit gave me a bonk on the head. Needed to whack my head on the road to wake myself up, to actually build the courage up, to take that step to get what I wanted. I don't think that you need to go and do that. I'm pretty extreme on some of these things. But you look at what's stopping you. What belief have you been telling yourself? Because here I was, a single guy with two daughters, and thinking, well, she won't want to be married to me. She wouldn't want to go out with me because here I am. I'm older than her. I've got two kids. And here she is. She's sporty, doing what she's wanting, allowed to go around the world, do whatever she wants. But what I had to do. And it was just taking that step, because you never know. So where are you holding yourself back because you think, oh, I haven't got what it takes to do what I need? So one of the things that you look at, I had a belief that was making me not take the step to ask. So whereabouts are you doing the same? So you want to turn these beliefs, once you recognize them, into how can I? So when we look at these beliefs, and when we look at what's going on and why you're stopping yourself, and you recognize, oh, geez, I've got a belief, I'm not taking action on this because, then the question is with that belief, you change it to how can I? Like how can I get A without B? So if you are sitting there saying to yourself, I really want to go after my career, or I'd really like more clients, but then I wouldn't be a good mum or a good dad, and I wouldn't be there for my family, I wouldn't be there for my kids, so I'd be a bad parent or partner. That's a belief. So look at it, and we want to change that too. We change that belief to, what would it look like, or how could I grow my business and career without, and know that I'm being a great parent, I'm there for my partner, I'm there for my kids. How can I do both and know that you're doing a great job without a shadow of a doubt in yourself on being there for your family? I find I'm just asking, the thing is, what you look at is, I just ask better questions. I ask better questions of myself now, and I ask better questions for my clients now to help them achieve what they're doing. If you ask yourself a better question, and, I'm asking you a better question here, how can you, or what would it need to look like for you to be able to do that? What would it need to look like for you to have the courage to ask that person out? What would it need to look like for you to ask for that sale? What would it need to look like for you to take that step and go for what you want? How can I make it possible? Well, we know everything is possible. So we know that that's not a problem. That's what we talked about yesterday. So we know everything's possible. So the question is, well, how can I? Or what would it take for me to get there? So you change the question, you get a better answer. So what part of this belief about failure am I talking about? Well, when you look at it, whereabouts is it in your failure? Are you scared of failing? One of the things about failure, it's an interpretation. And when we look at failure, quite often, when we look at it's just a label that we've given it. And when we go to do something, we won't do it, we won't take the action because we're scared to fail. But the label, it all is just about failure. All it is because what happens is we go along in life, we try something, and we may get an unfavorable result, or some circumstances or situation doesn't work out right and the timing's wrong or something like that. But one of the things is, it's not a failure. There was something there that you needed to learn. There's a teaching here for you. And we say to ourselves, oh, it was a failure. And the funny thing about it, that's basically life. If you look at life, lots of things go wrong all the time. And life doesn't, go the way we wanted it 99% of the time. Most of the time we're going like this. We're ducking and diving all over the place. But you just keep going, don't you? You don't just stay in bed all day. You get up and you have another crack. You go out and you try something else. You adjust. You're constantly adjusting. Every time you put yourself out there, and you go for it, you ask for the sale, look for the lead, ask someone out on a date, go to work and get your health better, ask for a raise. You put yourself on the line. Something I like to call these moments, these are the moments that you're stepping up to the plate. These are the moments where change happens. And these are the moments when you can look back in life where you had those moments. Like I look back when I took the Harley that day. Had I not listened to Spirit, I would have hurt myself really badly if I didn't have all my leathers on. Had I not had the courage to let my wife know how I felt back then, we probably would have went off in different directions. But there's those moments. It's like in baseball, you step up to the plate, the pitcher's going to throw the ball. What are you going to do? You're going to swing and hit it, or you're going to miss. And if you miss, it's not a failure. It's I need to adjust. I need to watch the ball more. I need to swing a little earlier. I need to swing a little later. Whatever it is. And you make that subtle adjustment. You get what you need, and you make that subtle adjustment. We always either get what we want or we get what we need. But a lot of the time when we get what we need, sometimes we can't see it because we think we're in failure. And when we look at it, we go, shit, I failed. I'm no good at this. I'm going to give up. No, you needed this little bit more piece of information to be able to make that other subtle adjustment so that then next time you can succeed. And it's those that keep going because, you look in business, you look in relationships, you look in everything. How many times have we failed along the way to get the success? And every time we've failed along the way, every time we've had an experience and didn't get what we want, if we allow ourselves to learn from the teaching, we begin to grow. And then the next time we don't make the same mistake. And then we get a better result. And it just continues and away we go. Telling you, you already know. The thing is, you look at what are the beliefs about what it'll take. And when you change them, and when you actually adjust to them, you actually get it. And you actually say, wow, what's it going to take? And one of the things that you look at is these lessons. They're there to help you. The failure label, all that failure is just a mask. And if you say that you didn't fail, that all you did is you picked up a learning because there was something there that you needed. And I see this all the time with clients. And I see this, especially, when they're growing themselves and they're wanting to take themselves to the next level. One of the things that they do, and especially in their health, if they've got something going on in their body and they just can't, it's not healing, you have to go and find what it is that they need to get. And this is what we do. We go in and we look at the energy field. What's the energy field doing? Where are you not being loving and kind to yourself? Where are you not open and sharing and taking notice of what you're getting? When they make that adjustment, they heal. They shift the environment that the cells are in. And in epigenetics, the cells respond to the environment that they're in. So if the environment is uncomfortable or not healthy, then the cells respond accordingly. And when we understand that, we can go beyond. And so this is a lot about what's going on for you. So have a look at yourself. Have a look today. Go ahead after this. Sit down and write down. Say you're wanting to get a job. What's it going to take? Say you're wanting to raise the amount of clients you're going to do. What's it going to take? What is your beliefs that you've got that it's going to take? And where's all the BS stories that you're telling yourself that you can't do it? Or that you're going to fail? Well, it's too scary. It's too this. It's too that. They're all beliefs. Once you recognize them, you can do something about them. And that's what this is about. That's why this belief here is such a big one, where when you shift it in yourself and you begin to become aware of it and you become conscious of it, you're able to create what you want. It's just something that's holding you back. And we look at it and we go, damn, this is so subtle. It's so small. And yet it's so powerful. So there's been a lot here. Remember, ask yourselves the good questions. How can I, or what would it take? Just change the subtle questions. Enjoy, and for those that are joining me at 10:30 again, I will be going into one more deeper space with this on what to do with it. Okay, guys, hey, enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with the next type of belief that we need to shift so that you can create what you want. Awesome, take care, and blessings.